What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Dinosaur. It's been a little bit since our first video, and it's good getting out there, getting the channel going, and talking a little bit about the UFC middleweight division. Today, I want to talk to you about Formula One. It's a summer break, so not a lot happening on track with Formula One, and not off it for that matter. We really don't know what the hell's happening. But today, I really want to weigh in on the whole Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris situation, kind of how I rate the drivers right now, how I rate them in the future, and what I make of this situation that McLaren's got themselves in by signing these two drivers. So, as you can see by the table right here, Norris is quite a bit ahead. I think he's at 199, and Piastri's at 167. So Lando does have a good lead over Oscar. But let's just call it like it is. Lando's choked. Like, he's choked. And I don't want to come across as a hater, but I do think it's pretty telling that he was always, I didn't lose his car. Just wait. Bro, the only win you got was because the safety car handed it to you. Sure, you stayed out. But it's not like you would have done anything if that safety car didn't come to you. You would not have won. You would have been fucked. You stayed out way too long. It came to you. Fair play. You got to win, buddy. We have held the same amount of leads after turn one. Okay, if that isn't choking, I don't know what is. But I don't think this is all Lando's fault. I really don't. Max does not need to worry about Checo. Charles, more often than not, he'll get the edge on Carlos, and if Carlos has the edge, he really doesn't need to worry about him. Where one's good, the other one isn't. But Norris isn't dominant enough to really kind of take that by the scruff of the neck. I mean, as you can tell, the dude is mentally capitulating under the pressure of possibly challenging Max, let alone beating Oscar. And I think it's interesting that the entire F1 community is just thinking of this as like Lando's the one driver, McLaren need to prioritize him, this. Well, maybe if they prioritize Piastri, he would actually be doing better. I know what you're going to say. Yeah, Lando beat him last year. He's beating him this year. He is all of 30 points ahead. That is one bad weekend. This is not a big lead. There is a universe where Piastri catches Norris. And if you look at both of these drivers' youth careers, Oscar is the more successful driver. They both won Formula Renault. Congratulations. Okay. They both won F3 in their first year. Okay, again, congratulations. Not the best racing circuit here. F2, Oscar won it in his first year. What did Lando do? His best finish was second in the second year. Oscar's the more accomplished junior driver. This guy, people were saying Alpine should kick Fernando Alonso out of the car to make sure he has a seat, okay? And now it's a big shock that, you know what, maybe he's better than Lando. The prospect that everyone was saying was going to be better than Fernando, everyone acts like he's surprised when he's doing better than Lando Norris. And like I said, a part of this, I really don't blame Norris. I don't think it's his fault. I think this whole let's have two drivers who are the same caliber is just an overall bad idea. And I think McLaren of any team should be the one that is firmly aware of exactly how horrible of an idea this is. But before we get into McLaren knowing way better than they should, I'd like to go through some of the best drivers, most successful drivers in recent times, and talk you through their teammates, and let's see how many people could really trouble them on a regular basis. We're going to start with Michael Schumacher. His teammates: Andre De Cesaris, no. Martin Brundle, no. Riccardo Patrese, no. Jos Verstappen, no. JJ Leto, no. Johnny Herbert, solid, no. Eddie Irvine, no. Mika Salo, no. Rubens Barrichello? No. Luca Bador? No. Felipe Massa? Kind of, but not really. Giancarlo Fisichella? No. Nico Rosberg? Kinda, but that was a different point in Michael's career. So all until Michael came out of retirement with Mercedes, he was the best driver, no questions asked. It was his team. If one of the Benettons or one of the Ferraris was gonna win, gonna pick up the big points, it was Michael's car. All right. What about Fernando? What about Lewis Hamilton? Well, his first teammate was Fernando Alonso. How did that work out? McLaren. They raced each other out of the title, and it went to Kimi Räikkönen. That's how it went. Next teammate, Heikki Kovalainen. Nowhere near as good as Lewis Hamilton. Next teammate, Jenson Button. Quality, not going to trouble Lewis Hamilton. Nico Rosberg, again, he's good. He can cause problems with Lewis, and what did he do? Just that. All they did was take points off of each other, but the Merc was so clear of every other car back then, it didn't matter. All right, now we get into the prime Lewis years. Who's his teammate? Valtteri Bottas. Does Valtteri trouble Lewis? No. Now we have George. Yes. And is it working well? No. And then, you know what? If you want to go back even further, let's look at Ayrton Senna. Who are his teammates? Johnny Kokoto. Don't even know who he is. Not going to trouble Senna. Stefan Johansson. No. Alain Prost. Again, McLaren. What are you doing? What are you doing? You, of all teams, should know what happens when you sign two very good drivers. It doesn't work. It didn't work with Hamilton and Alonso, and it did not work with Prost and Senna before that. Senna's next teammate, his favorite teammate, Gerhard Berger. Why was that? Because Berger was plenty good, but not good enough to really trouble him. Michael Andretti took him to the cleaners. Mika Hakkinen for a little while. Again, Senna was in his prime. Hakkinen wasn't there. No. And Damon Hill, well, they didn't race together long enough, really, of note. We can even do this with Sebastian Vettel. That's how proven having two drivers of the same skill in a front-running car is a bad idea. So let's do it. Vettel's teammates. Nick Heidfeld, when he debuted with BMW, is he close to Vettel? No. Viantonio Luizzi? No. Sebastian Bourdais? No. Mark Webber? Not really, but the Red Bull was so good, if you were worth your salt, you were going to do something good with it. Daniel Ricciardo? Yeah, and you know how that went? He kicked Seb out of Red Bull. Daniel Kvyat? No. Kimi Räikkönen, there was a time, but that time had long since passed by the time Kimi was at Ferrari. And Leclerc, again, what happened when you put Vettel up with a good driver? Got kicked out of the team. But I'm not going to say I don't understand why McLaren did this. It has been since Lewis Hamilton that McLaren was a front-running team. They don't know what it's like to be a front-running team. They didn't care which driver got points. They cared a driver got points. And that's the right approach. But McLaren isn't that team anymore. They're a front-running team. They're a winning team. What do winning teams need to have? A 1 and a 2. They're not going to be able to make that happen with this driver lineup. I don't know which way they go. I know Oscar is the more accomplished junior driver. Lando has more success in F1 right now. And it certainly seems like Oscar has a more stable head on his shoulders in terms when it comes to a driver leading a team, developing a team, handling the pressure of challenging for a title in Formula One. I don't know how you can say he doesn't have that mentality. So with all that being said, McLaren has a hard decision to make. And they have no one to blame but themselves for having to make this decision. I don't know what it is, but I think by the time the season is over, we will have a lot more clarity. Anyway, this has been The Dinosaur. Hope y'all enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe. Let's get this thing going. I'll be posting more frequently. And, wish the best to both of them. And hope we get a close run into the F1 season.